Eminem. No. No. I have a lot in common with Georgie. I know what it's like to be a 25-year-old teenager. I've recently had a birthday. I'm 34 again. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's 34 again, and that's all you need to accept. Very, very scientific way of proving how old I was. I lived in Japan, and kids would always come up to me and say, "My name is Mickey, and I'm 15. How old are you? What's your name? How old are you?" And I would say, "Well, my name's Tina. How old do you think I am?" And they would say 34. And I'm like, "You're right, because it's rude to be wrong, you know?" Yeah, I'm only as old as I think. Yeah, don't worry, I'm medicated. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah. I've recently, well, I can't really say recently, I started doing yoga again. Now, I've been doing this same yoga DVD for 23 years. It was a hell of a lot easier when I first got the DVD. I tell you, I went out and got a new yoga mat, and I put that down, and then I got a couple poses, and my favorite pose was relaxation pose. And then I took a nap, and the video was over. It was great. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and I am feeling more flexible because I have to bend over and pick up the TV. It's about as active as I want to get. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. My kids have tell me I'm a hoarder. Okay, they tell me I need to get rid of things. So I finally decided that I was going to get rid of some stuff that I don't need anymore. So I Googled it because I didn't know, where do I get rid of stuff from? And I was really shocked to find out that you have to be dead before you can donate your organs. It was a clip I saw, I'm not using my organs. My pancreas is clean. I could give it to somebody else, I have 2 lungs. One works, the other one I can get rid of. Always thought what it would be like to have a lung transplant. Anyhow, if men can have hair, I can get a new lung. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. I've never heard of a lung plug before. I've heard of a lot of other plugs, but anyhow, we won't go there. You might have noticed I'm not from around here. I live in Ahoka. Yeah, I've wanted an accent my whole life. I just didn't know I needed to leave Buffalo, New York to get one. Okay, you're closed up now. You're just like, huh? I used to be American, but don't worry, I didn't vote for Trump. We moved to New Zealand to get away from that crazy president, George Bush. Yeah, the second one. We thought the first one was bad. Then we got the sequel. And now we got Trump, and we're waiting to see if America's stupid enough to get that sequel made. But it's looking pretty good. They're looking for the nuclear documents that he took with him in his briefcase as he was leaving the White House. So maybe we won't have a sequel anyhow. I've been in New Zealand for about 18 years now. I used to say 20, but my husband's really pedantic about dates, so it's only 18 years. Yeah. And I got very confused when I first moved here because, you think you're moving to an English-speaking country, and you think you wouldn't get so many things mixed up. Like when we moved to Japan, I kind of got things mixed up all the time. In Japanese, you would say skoshi, which means little. Okay, skoshi. So I'd always go skoshi, skoshi, skoshi. But for 2 years, I would go squishy, squishy, squishy. And they didn't tell me till after 2 years that I was saying skoshi wrong and I was calling it squishy. So there's a whole town in Japan that thinks I'm just the village idiot. Yeah. Okay. That was off topic. Anyhow, very confusing moving to New Zealand. My kids went to school here. They get a stationery list. And one of the first things on the stationery list was a rubber. Yeah, in America, we don't send rubbers to school, to our primary school kids anymore. Yeah, probably things have changed. Probably now it's everybody has to have a rubber. But yeah, we don't have rubbers. There's other things that would confuse me, like we moved here in the wintertime, and it was very cold. What is it about New Zealand and bathrooms that you cannot put a heater in a bathroom? I mean, I go into a bathroom, and it is so hard for me to go to the bathroom because all I want to do is just pinch up. Bathrooms are freaking cold here. Yeah, it's very, very, very difficult. But my friend, was constantly cold, and she said, can I get you a hottie? Now, I'm American. Hottie is not what I think that she wants to offer me, okay? She wants to offer me a hottie. And she said, just a minute, I'll get James. James is her husband. He is not a hottie. Okay, I'm like, I'm good. And then she's like, well, wait, I'll go get Asher. Now, Asher's 18 years old and plays rugby. Now, that's a hottie I'd consider. I was extremely disappointed when she handed me a hot water bottle. I love you too, babe. Other things that would get me really confused. I used to work at an education facility, and they were always putting me up to practical jokes there because they just thought it was hilarious that I was American. And they told me that I needed to go get this guy's certificate of Whakapapa. Now in America, we don't give certificates for that. If you're really lucky, you get a boob job. If you're really lucky, you become first lady. Anyhow. Another thing that confused me when we first drove through Kaiapoi. We drove through Kaiapoi going out to Hoka looking if we wanted to live out there. And on the side of the wall, we saw this big, bold letters that said home kill specialist. We don't have that in America. Well, we do, but we call them the police. Anyhow. Yeah, that's America. A lot of crazy stuff goes on in America. I thought America was nuts when I left. I had no idea. I kind of think of myself being a little psychic these days, But I'm not English, so maybe I could possibly be psychic. I still don't understand that you have to have a nationality to be qualified to be a psychic. I don't know. Apparently a lot of Americans are psychics. I was actually looking on Facebook today. There's a guy that's giving psychic readings for $105 via Zoom. I thought about giving him a ring, but no. I had thought about being a very dishonest person and pretending I'm a psychic. But no, I do have some morals and values. Not a whole lot, but yeah. Let's see, what else? I'll tell you a little bit about, we moved to Japan a few years ago. After the earthquakes, my husband got hit by a car. It's okay, he recovered. But to celebrate that, we moved to Japan for 3.5 years.
True.
Yeah, we had to celebrate it. He deserved an OE after that, yeah. Don't worry about him. He had all the drugs in the world, okay? I didn't. I only had wine. He had some really good drugs, though, because in the hospital, the first night, the next morning I came in, and he said, this place is nuts, that he had to get out of here. And I'm like, why? There was mice in the hospital. And I'm like, what? Because he sees mice running around every night. So I'm like, okay, the drugs are really good. So they said, and I looked over at his tray, and he said he can't eat his food. And I'm like, why? He goes, because the CIA is trying to poison him. And he said, could I taste the food? And I said, I'm not eating your food. If they're going to poison you, they're going to poison me. So no, I'm not going to eat your food. One day I came in and they had him tied down with restraints to the hospital bed because apparently I got a text at 1 o'clock in the morning one time while he's in the hospital telling me he's on his way home. That's when they stopped the ketamine. And then, yeah, great drugs. And then I was telling the nurse because he told me that one night he was in the while he was in the hospital that the hobbits came to visit him and that Gandalf was there. And so I told the nurse, I said, you guys got to adjust his medication because last night he says that the hobbits came to visit him. And then the nurse went, well, actually we do have a nurse that looks like a hobbit. So, so maybe he was okay, yeah. But yeah, to celebrate his accident, we moved to Japan.
Yep.
And I loved Japan. It was great. They thought I was wonderful because I had blonde hair. I didn't have blonde hair when I went to Japan, but they wanted to make my hair blonde, so that's why I'm blonde now. I just got my hair cut today. I'm a little worried I look really Judith Collins-y. I'm way too blonde today, way too blonde. I do get recognized, or not recognized, I do get confused with, or people get confused and think I am Judith Collins. There was a little old guy over at New World that came up to me, and he's pointing his finger at me, and he goes, "Judith, leave Jacinda alone." And I just said, "Sir, I'm not Judith." And he's like, "Yes, you are. You're Judith Collins. If that doesn't tell you need a makeover, nothing will." Okay, so I said, "Sir, I'm not Judith Collins." And he goes, "You need to leave Jacinda alone." So the only thing I could do was I crushed him. Anyhow, okay, I've added some stuff to that joke, so that's getting better. Yeah, so during my time in Japan, one of the funniest things that happened, there was a lot of funny things that happened, but I was in Shinjuku Station. Now this was a couple years before the Olympics. They had no English signs anywhere. It was 3 years before the Olympics, and I really wanted them to put some more English signs up, but they just refused. But I went to the bathroom in there, and once you've had a Japanese toilet, folks, you cannot go back to a New Zealand toilet, okay? They are warm, they sing songs from Disney. You've been to Japan, you've had a Japanese toilet? Yeah? No? Yeah? I had one installed in my house, 2 of them actually. It cost us $3,600 because we had to have separate water lines. But anyhow, once you've had a Japanese toilet, you can't go back to a New Zealand toilet. Anyhow, so I was in Shinjuku Station, and I sat down and was having a religious experience while I was going to the bathroom, because I was listening to the music that the toilet plays, and it's "Wish Upon a Star," because that's the song that tells you to relax, to go to the bathroom. And I realized that it was time to get up, and all of a sudden there was some water going on, because I had pushed a button, and I didn't know how to turn it off. So I pushed a lot of buttons. And then I was thinking, this is not going to end well. How do I get out of this stall in a dignified manner without having to do a tuck and roll and have water come spouting out of the toilet? I was like so confused. No English signs anywhere. So finally I kept pushing the buttons, and I pushed it, something happened, and it stopped. I went, oh, thank God, I can get out of here now. So I finished up, and then it was time to flush the toilet. Again, no English signs anywhere, but this big, massive blue button, okay? Nothing says flush a toilet like a blue button, okay? Blue for water, right? So I pushed it. Nothing happened. I said, okay, I'm done with this toilet, I'm getting out. So I'm out of the toilet, and my friend comes out, and we're doing whatever we do in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, 5 police officers come running through the toilet. And my friend looked at me, and she just went, "What did you do?" Like, what am I gonna do in a bathroom? Apparently the blue button does not mean flush the toilet. It means come get me, I'm dying, apparently. The Japanese police came in. My friend said something in Japanese. I knew one word, which was baka baka, which means crazy. So she basically told him that I was this crazy person. He took his flashlight and shook it at me in a very fierce, scary way and said, "Don't ever do that again." Like I would ever personally call the police while I'm in the toilet. Anyhow, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm Tina D.